Overclockers, 2024 was a year filled with some awesome new game releases, some unfortunate industry layoffs, and some big new tech announcements, plus much more. In this special episode of BIOS Update, we take a look back at some of the year's biggest stories. There is a huge one to kick things off, a roundup of the biggest PC tech launches of CES. It was a pretty exciting year with plenty of different launches to talk through. I'm going to give you a brief overview, but make sure to check out the full blog post for more detail. We had the GPU launches from Nvidia that I did mention earlier, alongside new software announcements for DLSS, RTX, Ace, Remix, GeForce Now, and RTX live streaming. Intel announced new 14th gen CPUs for the mobile and desktop. Meanwhile, competitor AMD debuted the new 8000G series and Ryzen 5000 series processors, alongside the new RX 7600 XT GPU with a whopping 16GB of VRAM. Razer announced all new Razer Blade laptops using the latest mobile hardware with stunning new displays. Its weird and wonderful product this year is Esther, a haptic gaming cushion that lets you feel in-game effects, like rain while you're playing. Alongside the Claw and AI-powered laptops, MSI revealed Project Zero, a nifty way of making your PC cable-free with redesigned motherboards and cases with a clean aesthetic. Thermaltake is celebrating their 25th anniversary with a range of striking blue cases and components, and I must admit, the Tower 300 is now on my PC wishlist. The new partnership between Cherry and Xtrfy has produced a selection of peripherals, including keyboards, mice, and the beautifully designed GP5 mouse mat. Monitors came in all shapes and sizes and spec from LG, Samsung, Asus and more. As expected, OLED is going to be huge in 2024, and there is plenty of exciting options for big budget gamers coming soon. Asus launched a lot, including a tiny Nook aimed at gamers, its own hidden cable range called BTF, new GPUs and laptops, sleek white peripherals and more. We have a game that is a huge success, Palworld. I haven't been this hooked on a new game in years, and it seems millions of gamers feel the same way, with the title nicknamed Pokemon with Guns breaking numerous records. Sales are great, and it's sold over 8 million copies on Steam in just 6 days, with I'm sure many more sales on Xbox and many more to come. People really love playing it too, with a Steam concurrent player count at over 2 million. Yes, that's 2 million gamers just on Steam at the same time. 95% of the 150,000 Steam reviews are positive, and then you've got Xbox Game Pass players to add to that. The game is still in early access too, with many updates and bug fixes to come. It all sounds very promising, and it looks like Palworld has a very bright future ahead, maybe even Game of the Year. That's unless Nintendo find something they don't like. The company made an official statement that reads, "We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to Pokemon." Although the cute pals and capture method do seem a bit familiar, I must admit the gameplay feels more like survival games such as Ark and Rust than any Pokemon game that I've played. Now, let's hope that some of the developers who've recently lost their jobs can find work at the growing studio like Pocket Pair, which is sure to be rapidly expanding to handle the development demands required to keep those millions of players happy. 2024 is shaping up to be an epic year for game launches, and if Palworld isn't really your vibe, it's worth checking out Helldivers 2. This co-op third-person shooter released on the 8th of February for PC and PS5, and the gameplay has been praised by gamers and critics. Who doesn't love killing endless aliens and their teammates with multiple satisfying varieties of airstrike, flamethrower grenades, hell bombs, and a variety of weapons? It already has over 40,000 mostly positive reviews on Steam and a decent Metacritic score. Unfortunately, the game has actually become a victim of its own success, with technical issues plaguing the game due to the high demand on the servers. Thankfully, the developers, Arrowhead Game Studios, have been working hard to fix these issues and improve the stability and quality of the game. They have released several patches for both PC and PS5 versions and have also performed server maintenance to address the problems. However, some of the issues that I mentioned are still persisting, and the developers have not provided a clear timeline for when they will be fully resolved, although apparently a detailed roadmap is on the way.
The games industry is once again hemorrhaging talent, with 2024 looking to be the worst year for the sector in recent memory. Just this week, UK-based Supermassive Games, makers of The Quarry and Until Dawn, announced they'll be laying off around 90 of their staff. The studio confirmed the hit in a statement posted to X, where it blamed the significant challenges the industry as a whole is currently facing, and acknowledging how unsettling the process of losing staff will be for the company. Founded in 2008, Supermassive Games have worked on big hits, including 2022's The Quarry, which follows a group of 9 teenage counsellors stranded on the last day of summer camp as they face off their own fates. The layoffs don't stop there either, with Sony announcing it had initiated a reduction in workforce. The cuts will reportedly impact a range of PlayStation's first-party studios, including Naughty Dog, Insomniac Games, and Guerrilla, with the largest cuts affecting PlayStation's London studio, which is set to be closed in its entirety. Jim Ryan, president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, announced via an internal email and press release the company would see an overall headcount reduction of 8%, with around 900 people facing layoffs across the globe. The statement references the overall economic landscape and the need to future-ready themselves to set the business up for what lies ahead. The latest hit for the games industry takes the total layoffs of 2024 well into the high thousands in just the first 2 months of the year, coming after Microsoft announced that 1,900 staff will be let go across Xbox and Activision Blizzard in January.
Stop killing games. Yes, gamers have finally had enough, and YouTuber Ross Scott
Hi, I'm Ross.
has started a worldwide campaign to challenge publishers who make online games unplayable after official support ends. In last year's news, we covered a study that revealed that 87% of games released before 2010 are completely unavailable. The well-thought-out campaign advocates for consumer rights, urging governments and authorities to examine and potentially end this practice. There's a really excellent YouTube video that I highly recommend watching. It covers the campaign in a lot of detail and answers a lot of questions, but essentially the petitions center around Ubisoft's decision to shut down the service for The Crew, affecting a player base of at least 12 million people. The argument is that games are goods and not services, and therefore should remain operable after purchase, so that when developers eventually decide to stop supporting a game, they must provide a way for owners to continue playing, such as on their own private servers. I don't think that this sounds unreasonable, and it makes sense to try and preserve all forms of media. That could be films, music, or video games. If you too want developers to stop killing games, you can help by signing the relevant petitions and contacting the regulators in your country, spreading the word on social media, and supporting content creators promoting their campaign. Plus, staying informed about the process. As with anything legal, this is likely to be a long, drawn-out process, and Ross Scott might need further support and signatures along the way. Shocking news from Microsoft, who has taken an axe to several huge Bethesda studios. Arcane Austin, the studio behind first-person shooter Prey, action game Dishonored, creative shooter Deathloop, and the recently released Redfall, will cease operations. Despite their 24-year history of innovative games, Arcane Austin will close, with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda. The most shocking news is that Tango Gameworks, known for their work on the Evil Within series, Ghostwire Tokyo, and more recently the award-winning Hi-Fi Rush, is also facing closure. Roundhouse Games, or as they used to be known, Human Head Studios, the creators of Rune 2, will be integrated into ZeniMax Online Studios. It's going to be a big shift for the developers who played a key role in many of Bethesda's recent game launches. On a more positive note, many Bethesda studios have remained intact: Arcane Leon, Bethesda Game Studios, Machine Games, and ID Software. However, it seems there will be a reprioritization of titles and resources going forward, with apparently more focus on priority games. This does sound like we'll be getting fewer risky new IPs, with a priority on high-impact titles and further investment in Bethesda's big-hitting blockbuster games, likely so they can make more money.
2024 so far has been awful for the gaming industry in the UK and globally, with countless layoffs, studio closures, and now the end of an era in the UK event scene. Player One Events, the company behind the long-running Insomnia Gaming Festival, laid off the majority of their staff and shut down operations last week. This is absolutely devastating news for everyone in the UK esports, gaming and general tech community, with the event ending after more than 25 years. Several sources, including Esports News UK, have reported the layoffs affected the entire sales and marketing team. And in the last Insomnia event, I-72, which took place at the end of March, some contracts still haven't been paid. The shutdown has also impacted other Player One organised events, such as RuneFest, which was set to return this September. The last tweet from the official RuneFest account announced the postponing of ticket sales due to the unforeseen circumstances, leaving the future of this event also uncertain. But it's not all doom and gloom. Two former Insomnia managers, Matt Carn McDonald and Michael Geosnipe Lambert, have started a new venture called Landcraft Events Limited, announcing they're working on something exciting for the community. They've launched a GoFundMe page for support, and it looks like they're planning some really cool stuff, including the return of TF2 to events. The new business is targeting people interested in all things LAN, esports, and community events in general, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
We all know AMD and Intel are the big players when it comes to desktop processors, but it looks like a new contender is stepping up. Yes, Qualcomm chips are coming to the desktop platform. Snapdragon chips are typically found in mobile and low-power devices, but soon Snapdragon X will be coming to all PC form factors. Qualcomm have teamed up with big names such as Acer, Asus, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft, and Samsung to produce a large range of Snapdragon-powered PCs, which you should find for sale later this month. When I first read the news, I was thinking, okay, these are probably going to be used in some low-powered office PCs for lightweight word processing. But it seems no, the Snapdragon X Elite has actually been tested in over 1,200 games, including big AAA titles from Activision, Blizzard, Epic, Remedy, EA, Ubisoft, and Xbox Studios. Unfortunately, no FPS performance was revealed, but in a Geekbench single-thread test, the Snapdragon X Elite was 51% faster while using 65% less power than an Intel Core Ultra 9 185H. Intel's efficient Meteor Lake-powered laptop CPU. Impressive. It will be interesting to see if Qualcomm will keep its new desktop chips as OEM only or decides to truly compete and expand into the DIY-friendly desktop PC space. If I asked you what the largest public company in the world was, you'd probably guess Microsoft or Apple. But as of Tuesday, Nvidia sits at the #1 spot with a $3.34 trillion stock market valuation, which sounds insane, as just 10 years ago, Nvidia was a gaming GPU company with a very respectable market cap of $10 billion. It's not surprising that Nvidia's success is due to the hype surrounding AI. Tech companies literally cannot get enough of Nvidia's Hopper H100 and Blackwell range of processors that are incredible at powering through AI training and AI workloads. At the moment, no other business can produce as many AI chips as Nvidia, and their manufacturer TSMC cannot keep up with demand. What chips are available sell for record profits, and it's easy to see why Nvidia's share price has shot up. CEO Jensen Huang's net worth is now $117 billion. That's a lot of leather jackets. We now know that sometime in 2024, Assetto Corsa Evo will be making its way to PC. This sequel to the popular first game looks incredible. They have gone for extreme realism in both driving feel, aerodynamics, and graphics, and I cannot wait to get immersed in race after race in my favorite cars, from road cars, classics, hypercars, and race cars. Kuno Simulazioni has even developed a new graphics engine specifically designed for driving simulators, with full support for VR headsets, triple screens, and photorealistic details. But what specs do you need for those epic graphics? Well, it's no surprise you're going to need 100 GB of SSD storage space for all those textures, and the minimum requirements list an Intel i7-8700K or AMD 1500X paired with 16 GB of memory and GTX 1070 or RX 580. If you want to make the most of those glorious visuals, you'll need an Intel i5-10500 or AMD 2600X, the same 16 GB of memory, and a higher-end GPU like the RTX 2070 or Radeon RX 5600. You can wishlist Assetto Corsa Evo on Steam right now, and stay tuned for more info across Assetto Corsa's social channels. Granite Ridge, AMD's internal codename for Ryzen 9th generation, will launch on July 31st and bring new Zen 5 CPU architecture to consumers. The 16-core Ryzen 9 9950X, 12-core Ryzen 9 9900X, 8-core Ryzen 7 9700X, and 6-core Ryzen 5 9600X. Essentially, the new CPUs use less power, run cooler, and perform better. A big yay for consumers! AMD claims around a 10 to 20% improvement gen to gen, with a temperature reduction of 7 degrees Celsius. For those that want to squeeze even more performance, there's a new overclocking and undervolting tool called Curve Shaper, which builds on the existing Curve Optimizer. There'll also be support for DDR5 8000 memory and usual support for memory overclocking via memory profiles. The performance already looks extremely exciting, and AMD's extreme overclocking team pushed a Ryzen 9 9950X to 6.7 GHz with LN2 to break several world records. Impressive. SAG-AFTRA, a union representing hundreds of thousands of actors and performers, called the strike after recent discussions with major video game companies broke down. The two sides have agreed on several key issues such as wages and job safety, but protections related to the use of AI technology remain a major hurdle. They're worried their face, movements, and voice will be recreated by AI, their likeness essentially stolen and then used without payment or permission. There are 10 companies facing the strike, including Activision, Electronic Arts, Epic Games, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, and Warner Bros. Games. You'll be relieved to hear that GTA 6 won't actually be affected by the strike. In fact, any video games that are already in production prior to August 25th, 2023 won't be affected. However, there might be a long-term impact, with the last SAG-AFTRA strike lasting nearly a year and disrupting several AAA titles. Personally, I can totally understand the strike. I don't want the hard-working, creative humans who make the games that we all love to be replaced by robots. Valve still hasn't officially announced a deadlock, but that hasn't stopped The Verge from playing, leaking, and reviewing the private early development version of the game. In a controversial decision, journalist Sean Hollister ignored the pop-up request to not share anything with anyone and just went ahead and recorded a bunch of gameplay and took screenshots before writing an article and getting banned. As for the gameplay, it looks fun and surprisingly well polished. It's a mix of Overwatch, Dota 2, Team Fortress 2, and much more. Even in this early development build, there are 20 different heroes, with some weird and wonderful, and others more your basic archer, swordsman, sniper, and shotgun shooter. You play as part of a team of 6 versus 6, where your team of heroes attempts to dominate the map by slowly attacking the opposing team and pushing them back. All this while leading an army of NPC minions down your lanes to destroy the opposing team's defenses, level up your hero, and take out huge boss-like enemies, a little like other MOBA games. It combines so many popular multiplayer game mechanics, I can see it being extremely popular, as there is literally something for everyone, and I can't wait to try it. Steam has surpassed 37 million concurrent users for the first time in its history. That's more than the population of countries like Australia, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Saudi Arabia. The number of people in a game hit over 12.5 million at the time of this newest record, and this is likely due to the launch of Myth Wukong, which soared to the top of the Steam charts with a peak player count of 2.4 million. This beats out previous records held by Palworld, Counter-Strike 2, and Lost Ark, only coming second to PUBG Battlegrounds. In fact, Myth Wukong has also seen huge success across all platforms, selling 10 million copies and also reaching 3 million concurrent players on PlayStation. It will be exciting to see if we hit a new record of 40 million concurrent users by the end of 2024. I think that it's actually highly possible, with Valve releasing new games such as Deadlock, amongst other big titles from other developers, plus the upcoming launches of new PC hardware and the promise of Valve extending Steam OS support to other handheld consoles. Steam is sure to continue to dominate the PC gaming market for years to come. AMD Ryzen CPUs are about to get a huge performance boost from a Windows update. Yes, it seems you'll literally be able to download more CPU soon with the 24H2 update due to come out later this year. Essentially, a bug in Microsoft's Windows 11 OS has been reducing the gaming performance of Ryzen CPUs. This includes the new Ryzen 9000 series and AMD's older Zen 3 and Zen 4 chips. Once fixed, all gamers using AMD's Ryzen 5000 to 9000 processors should receive a nice performance boost. It's actually no measly amount either. Hardware Unboxed has already tested the update and saw performance gains of up to 36%, with average gains of around 10% across over 40 games. This update is a must download for Ryzen CPU users, so spread the word and enjoy the free performance uplift. Minecraft. The game just turned 15 this year, and it does remain popular thanks to its large, free yearly updates from a dedicated development team. Now the team has announced a shift in how updates are handled, with the goal of increased responsiveness and efficiency. You can expect more regular updates that will vary in size, from a few small changes to larger long-term projects. Mojang will be able to address bugs, introduce features, and gather community feedback more efficiently, and then implement this. Minecraft has always been influenced by its dedicated community, and it seems that we can expect this feedback to play a larger role in shaping the game's future updates. There will also be more frequent communication with players about future plans and changes, with Minecraft Live now going to take place twice a year. Mojang is also retiring the controversial mob vote, the infamous player-voted contest that had people fighting over armadillos or penguins. Unity recently announced the global release as the 17th of October and showed off some impressive visuals in the 4.5-minute real-time cinematic demo. The 4K showcase, titled Time Ghost, was powered by an Intel i9 processor and unsurprisingly an RTX 4090. It was created by a long list of talented developers to highlight the advancements in visuals, complexity, and machine learning. The engine will offer developers greater control over their game's visuals, simplified multiplayer game development, and exciting tools with more stability and better performance. The rendering of grass, clothing, and human hair is particularly impressive, and one of the scenes has 12 million instances of vegetation, all achieved using DOTS technology, which is a huge leap forward when it comes to optimization in complex games. It's been 14 years, but Red Dead Redemption and its zombie horror add-on Undead Nightmare is finally coming to PC. And you're not going to have to wait long either, as Rockstar just dropped a brand new trailer and revealed the release date to be the 29th of October. You'll be able to experience the game in stunning new detail with PC-specific enhancements including 4K resolution, up to 144Hz refresh rate, monitor support for both ultra-wide and super ultra-wide, HDR10 support, and full keyboard and mouse functionality. There's also going to be support for Nvidia DLSS 3.7 and AMD FSR3 upscaling technologies, DLSS frame generation, adjustable draw distances, shadow quality settings, and much more. Plus, we all know the PC modding community is awesome, and I cannot wait to see how beautiful this game looks with updated textures and visuals. At the time of filming, Intel's Core Ultra Reveal event hasn't quite taken place yet. However, slides have been leaked from what is meant to be the official presentation, revealing the performance of the upcoming Core Ultra 9 285K. The flagship 24-core processor boosts up to 4.7 GHz, but unfortunately, gaming performance appears to be the same as the existing i9 4900K, which I must say is a tad disappointing. That means when compared to the 7950X3D, it doesn't really fare well in gaming performance. However, it appears to be on par with the 9950X in a range of gaming benchmarks. One benefit is the significant IPC gains Intel made to the Skymont E-cores, meaning the 285K beats the 7950X3D in multi-threaded productivity workloads, as shown with Geekbench, Cinebench, and POV Ray. Another benefit is a huge 80-watt reduction in power draw, and therefore I imagine the new ultra-core CPUs will actually run much cooler, which is certainly a welcome improvement over the previous generation. The Ryzen 7 9800X3D. The 9800X3D is the best of both worlds, with high frequency and a large cache, officially offering a 500 MHz higher frequency than the 7800X3D, boosting up to 5.2 GHz. Unfortunately, our samples from AMD arrived super late, so there won't be a video from APAC on launch day. However, a video is on its way, as the 9800X3D will be the first X3D SKU to support overclocking. There's no details on how this works just yet, but I'm sure Ian can work it out and squeeze it for even more performance. Not that it really needs it, as AMD claims an 8% improvement in gaming performance compared to the previous gen, with performance varying from around 1% in Cyberpunk 2077 up to 26% in Hogwarts Legacy, all while using the same power and at the same MSRP. Impressive. Best of all, it's compatible with existing AM5 motherboards and DDR5 memory, so you can snag a cheeky upgrade without the need to change your other components. The 2024 League of Legends World Championship has officially become the most watched esport event in history, with the series hitting 6.94 million peak viewers, beating the previous record of 5.4 million held by the Free Fire 2021 World Series. I must say that I've always found LoL a little bit hard to watch as an esport. It's got these really fast-paced team fights that are hard to follow and over in a blur. However, it's easy to see why the event drew such a large crowd. The legendary GOAT, Faker. Faker's hugely successful career that now includes 5 world titles has had a massive impact on the popularity of League of Legends and esports globally. Millions of fans tuned in from every continent to watch him carry T1 to victory in a tense final series that lasted 5 games. This goes to show the incredible potential esports has, with audiences now reaching numbers previously seen only in traditional sports like football or baseball. Even if you're not a League fan, make sure to check out the incredible opening ceremony, which attracted a record 4.2 million viewers, and it is really awesome. There's fire, dancers, and Linkin Park performing this year's anthem, Heavy is the Crown. Several leaks and rumors suggest that Intel will launch its next-gen desktop GPUs next month to get ahead of the GeForce RTX and Radeon RX launches that we're all kind of anticipating for CES 2025. The info comes from a shipping manifest that reveals the GPU model and what looks to be a pretty compact box size. Intel likely has stock ready and is moving it around ready for the launch. Going by the paperwork, this is the Intel Arc B580, a desktop card based on the company's Battlemage or Xe2 architecture, and a direct successor to the Intel Arc A580. While not much has been revealed just yet, it should be a mid-range card that's priced very competitively, making it a good option for budget gaming PCs. I can't actually wait for Intel to reveal more details, and in the meantime, if you're hankering for an Intel Arc GPU, there are some epic discounts on the current stock. Moving on to where OG legends Warcraft Orcs and Humans and Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness are waving goodbye to the GOG store on December 13th, exactly 1 month after Blizzard surprise dropped its remasters of the games. Coincidence? I think not. But don't worry, this isn't a raid, it's a rescue mission. If you grab these classics before the deadline, they're yours to keep forever, and you should still never lose access as both games were recently added to GOG's preservation program. GOG's commitment to game preservation ensures that once a game joins the program, they actually pledge to maintain its compatibility, even if it gets delisted from the store using their own in-house developers. So it seems that owners of Warcraft 1 and 2 and many more games can still expect a seamless experience and tech support for those titles well into the future, even if Blizzard appears to have given up on them. CD Projekt Red has revealed The Witcher 4, the highly anticipated sequel in their iconic RPG series. This time, the spotlight is on Ciri as she embarks on a journey as a full-fledged Witcher in a darker, grittier open world where the old order is crumbling and dark forces are rising. The graphics in the trailer look extremely good, and it's no surprise as it's all powered by Unreal Engine 5, moving away from CD Projekt Red's proprietary Red engine, which means jaw-dropping visuals and possibly better performance. Gwent lovers can also celebrate as the fan-favourite card game is set to make a return, offering some much-needed downtime from monster slaying. With a massive team of over 400 developers hard at work, this adventure is expected to launch sometime around 2026-2027. Wow, what a year! 2025 is set to be just as exciting, with loads of PC hardware on the way and lots of new games to try out. Do let me know in the comments below what you're most looking forward to in this coming year, and remember to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest news and announcements. While you're here, why not check out one of our other big videos from last year, and I'll see you again in the next one.